New month, new you. Why not? Why not? The overall theme this month is kindness. Be kind. Be kind to you first and foremost. Then, when you're kind to yourself, then you can really be kind to others. That's really important. One of the things about being kind to yourself is listening to your body and doing what is right for it. As the bottom of the screen says, do what's right for your body. Don't hurt yourself. Just enjoy the yoga. I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home. You're doing it your way. It's an hour-long practice, and you might think, oh, wow, an hour is just so long. Do what you can. Stick around for just 10 minutes or whatever time you've got, but make this practice work for you. Today, we are focusing on mobility, especially in the hips, mobility and flexibility. Every day, our practices are different. Some are more of a challenge than others, either physically or mentally, but every day it's different. It's like coming to a real live yoga class. Come join us every single day on Facebook and YouTube. Subscribe so you'll always know when we're doing something, and we're always doing something new. All right, so I told you about your body. Let's talk about a word. The word we're going to think about today is that word, kindness. The word of the month, the theme of the month. It's also one of the fruit of the Spirit. Kindness. Be kind to you. Don't be so hard on you. If you can't do a pose, don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. Be kind. Be mild. Be gentle-mannered and good-natured. Doesn't that sound great? Doesn't everybody want to be that way? You should want to be that way. All right, be kind to you. You're going to use some props in the practice today as well. Our usual things, 2 yoga blocks. Buy them. They're not very expensive. They're wonderful, wonderful props. Have those. Have your yoga strap today. We will use it. If you don't have a strap, you can use a belt to a robe. Improvise. Improvise. Make it work for you. I say that over and over again, but it's really true. Make the yoga work for you so you can feel good in your body. Don't strive to do a pose for the sake of the pose. No big deal, right? All right, an eye shade. Here's the eye shade. And a little hand towel are great for your final Shavasana, and the towel you can use in so many different ways. Have some water handy too. That's always good. Let's come on up to standing. As we come up to standing, I ask this every single day, lock a stress number in. It's kind of your little quantifiable measure of how the yoga is doing for you. So lock a stress number in, a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, what's going on? Don't overthink it. Let it go. Let it be. And let's start. All right, so with your arms, sweep your arms up to an extended mountain pose. This is called Tadasana. Lengthen up through your fingers. A big inhale through your nose. And a big exhale. Sigh it on out and let your arms come down. Let's do a few of those. Inhale the future. Exhale the past. Really think of good things to come. Big inhale. Big exhale. Let go of that which doesn't serve you. Breathe in, breathe out. We tend to get so stuck in ruts of I can't. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I've got to do this. No, break out. Break out. Do something new. Do something fun. Be kind to you. Lengthen up through the arms. Exhale. Let it go. Big inhale through the nose. Nobody's listening, so just do it. Big exhale, let it go. Now as you inhale, come on up onto the balls of your feet. And as you exhale, float your feet on down. Up and down. Think of the possibilities. Let things go. Yeah, let things go that hold you back. You got to let things go to take in new things, right? Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, let it go. One more time. Inhale up, exhale down. Let it go. All right, your shoulders. Start to just shrug them to the back of the room. Loosen up. Maybe you do one at a time. Feel like dancing. Maybe you bring them both back at the same time. Shrug them forward. Let them go. Let them be. All right, release your shoulders down away from your ears. Let's do some side bends. Lift one arm up. Lift the left arm up. Let it cross the midline of the body while the right arm slides down the outside of the thigh. Both arms come back up, other arm down, go to the left, reach and stretch, reach and stretch. So you're lengthening your spine. You're giving it some nice sideways movements. Breathe in, breathe out, side bends. Let it feel good. Let's finish. Come back to your extended mountain arms, up on the balls of the feet, up and down a little bit. Maybe you want to pedal it out. Maybe that feels more doable. Maybe you got a chair or a countertop nearby. Just pedal it out in the feet. Arms go up, feet are secure. Bring your arms to your low back. fingers pointing down or fingers pointing up. That's a little harder. Push your belly forward. Push your chest forward. Look up to the sky. Take a little back bend. Push your hips forward. Exhale. Forward fold. Hinge at the hips. Arms hang down towards your feet. Look back to your belly button. Look back to your navel. Let the crown of your head hang heavy. Shake your head a little bit. Put a bend in your knees. Whatever it does to feel good, do it. Wiggle your shoulders. Come to stillness. Roll your spine up, one vertebra at a time. Remember, it doesn't matter how fast you go. It doesn't matter how perfect you go, whatever that is. We're practicing. We're making this work for us. Take it slowly. Big arm circles. You know this one. Tee out your arms and draw little circles in the side of the room. Feel it in your upper back. Circles can be big, circles can be small, whatever works for you. Start to bend your knees as you're doing your arm circles. Knees come into a bend as the fingers come down, and the fingers go up and your knees straighten. Hello, Lori. I am glad that you are here. Esther and Tammy, you girls are so faithful. I think you've been coming solid for the couple of years that we've been doing this online. Take your arm circles in the other direction. Hello, Lynn and Gracie, Stan, the man, Betty in Florida, my favorite golfer, Linda, Tina, Tammy, Rena, Scott, Jim. I'm glad you guys are here. And Liz, how is everything in your neck of the woods? All right, come on up to standing. Shoulders back and down. Remember cow face? We do this sometimes. This is good for your shoulders. You can do it with a towel or not. We're going to do it standing, so we're going to do it quick. Raise your right arm high to the sky. Bend your elbow. Pat yourself on the back. Take the other hand, the left hand, hug the elbow in. Pat yourself on the back. Nice stretch of the tricep in your arm. Let's do the other side. Lift the arms up. Bend in the elbow of the left arm. Take your right hand, hug the elbow in, and pat yourself on the back. Breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. Let it go. All right, let's release the arms on down by our sides. Big coat swing. Shoulders are back and down. Start to twist in the waist from side to side. This one's really important. Adjust your feet so you're comfortable. Twist, twist, twist. Tap your hip, tap your backside. You know that big, keep doing your big coat swing. Look over your shoulder. Maybe close the eyes if you want to challenge your balance. But I'm thinking back to that cow face pose. Keep swinging your arms. But remember when we did this with the arms and we pull or pat yourself on the back? Think of pulling up a zipper on a dress or a shirt. I mean, you want to be able to do that. There are devices out now where you clip it onto the zipper and you can pull it up without having to reach your arms back and do it naturally. But, you know, we all need a little bit of help here and there. But let's prevent having to buy one of those silly things. Work at it. Move it or lose it. All right, deepen your twist. Feel it in the waist. Let's finish up. Come back to the midline of your body and let's do ragdoll pose. It feels so good for your low back. All right, feet are about hip width distance apart. Hands to opposite elbow creases. Hinge forward here. Bend your knees. Look back to your knees or up towards your belly button. Start to sway from side to side. All right, I'm going to go back to talking about cow face and the zipper. You know, sometimes things seem so insignificant and so silly until you can't do it anymore, until you don't have it anymore. And that zipping up your dress or shirt or whatever could be one of those things. It seems insignificant until you can't do it anymore. All right, so you're loosening up your low back, de-stressing here. I think this feels wonderful. How do you like it? Don't limit yourself to doing this pose only on your yoga mat. Do it throughout your day. Live your yoga off of your mat. All right, come back to stillness at the midline of your body. A little bend in your knees feels good. Let your fingers come down toward the earth. Look back up towards your knees. Just feel the goodness in your low back. A big breath in, big breath out, sigh it out, fold in half a little bit more. Your toes, lift them up, give them a wiggle. Eyes can be opened or closed. With closed eyes, you're challenging your balance a little bit more. Finish up in your warm up. Let's come on down to your mat. Hands on your mat, knees bend. Let's come into our child's pose. All right, this is when body's warmed up. Body's warmed up, right? Now let's just get into our heads a little bit. All right, knees can be together, big toes touching, hips back to your heels, arms down by your sides. Block can bring the ground up to you. Palms face up, shoulders away from the ears. Breathe in, breathe out. Time to get into our heads. Let your forehead come down to your mat if you like, or take a wide-legged child's pose. Knees spread wide, big toes touch, hips back to the heels, arms reach to the top of the mat this time. Block can be under your forehead or no block at all. Forehead down to the mat or hands onto the block or blocks. All right, get into your head. What do I mean by that? Just be introspective. Be kind to you. Take the time for you. Quit focusing on external things, the TV on, the radio on, the noise around you. Let go of all the news and all the crazy things around you. Just turn inward into you. Quiet, solitude. Think your thoughts. Breathe in, breathe out. Turn out the outside world. Eyes are closed. Your focus is inward. One of the great ways to focus inward is to close your lips and breathe in and out of your nose only. How does that feel? If it just isn't right for you, breathe any way you like, of course. But keep your breaths deep. No shallow breathing. If you're breathing shallowly, perhaps you're taking a pose too deeply for you today. Just chill out. Make the yoga work for you. Big breaths in, feel your ribs expand to the side of the room. Big breaths out, feel your tailbone go more back towards your heels. Push into your hands if you're in the extended child's pose. Nice stretch in the knees and the quads and the ankles. Lengthening through the spine. Child's pose calms the mind. Come back to your child's pose anytime you want, or stay here longer. That's a fine option too. If you're ready to come out of your child's pose, let's press our forearms into the mat. Fingers up toward the top of your mat. Bring your knees in or out, however you are, and send your tailbone high to the sky. Slide your arms a little more forward as you work to maybe bring your chin or your chest down to your mat, or a good opportunity to use this block again. Bring your chest onto the block, and it makes a difference. Don't think of the block as a crutch. It just is an aid to change the feeling of the pose. Tailbone high to the sky. And you know, you can also buy half-size blocks. Remember that. Maybe you're ready to get those into your practice too. Maybe knees are spread a little bit wider, whatever feels good. Tailbone up toward the sky. Feel this in your low back, your puppy pose. Think of, how Piper and Bonnie, and probably your dogs too, right? Tammy, Max comes up to your mat afterwards and lifts his tail high to the sky, lifts his bottom up in that playful puppy pose. You can do it too. All right, let's finish up. Quick, pentacle pose. Oh my goodness, hey, that's pretty good. Pentacle pose, you're gonna love it. Lie all the way down. Arms go high overhead, legs spread wide. You come into the shape of a capital letter X. Breathe in, breathe out. If it doesn't feel great in your shoulders, think of like a snow angel and bring your arms down a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. Feel the goodness and the strength and the solid foundation behind your shoulders, behind your back. Think of good posture. Think of your heart with kindness going up to the sky. Breathe in, breathe out. Your pentacle pose, another great pose to reset and come back to the midline of your body. Come back to it anytime you want. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's get into the hips. Slowly make your way up. Press on up, or don't use your hands. Come on up to seated. Have a seat. Have a seat. And let's grab a block. All right, now we're going to sit in a Sukhasana pose. Now you can sit with your legs crisscross or long. It's okay. I'm going to get into the hips a little bit. We're not here long at all today. Maybe bring one foot up on top of the opposite thigh. Slip a block under that elevated knee if that feels better. If you like, the bottom foot can also come up and rest on the thigh. Take a deep breath in, hands on your knees, and a deep breath out. Let it go. Your neck. Let's do some things with that. As your hips are resting here, they're not really resting. They're getting in a really nice isometric stretch. If your right leg is on top, you're really feeling it in your right glutes. Right hip is loving you or something. Right about now. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Circle your neck around if it feels good. If it doesn't feel good, just lengthen up through the neck and imagine the shoulders coming away from the ears. Maybe neck circles feel mighty good for you. Maybe neck circles in the opposite direction feel good. Don't worry about how you're moving it. Just move your neck. Feel what you feel. Embrace the little crunchies in the neck. As long as they don't hurt, you're good. So maybe you think of drawing a circle on the front wall with your nose in one direction and the other. Maybe you just move your head around really fluidly. And I love the saying, to move your head organically. Whatever feels good for you, that's how you should be moving your head. Maybe you like to keep the eyes open too, because maybe that vertigo thing kicks in. Lengthen up, bring your head back to stillness at the midline of the body if it's not already still. Turn your head from left to right now. Left to right, right to left. You can open your eyes and really try to look over your shoulder, or close your eyes, and with the eyes closed, just still move the eyes underneath the lid of your eyelid and think of your vision going way far over your back. Move your neck. Gotta move your neck. Don't become a stiff-necked people. It's not good. All right, breathe. All right, turn your head left to right, right to left. Come it back to stillness at the midline of your body. Lift both arms up high to the sky. Stretch. Bring your right arm down to your right knee. Take your left arm, bend it. Take your left hand on top of your right ear and bring the left ear to the left shoulder. So your hand is helping here, stretching out the neck. Hands back up to the sky. Left hand down to left knee. Right arm bends. Touch the top of your ear. Touch the top of your left ear. And bring your right shoulder to your right ear to your right shoulder. Soften up. Breathe. Nice big stretch there. You got it going on. Both arms back up to the sky. Exhale, arms come down. Reach your arms forward. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Reach, reach, reach. Gaze down toward your ankles. Gaze up toward your belly button. Stretch. Inhale, come on back up. Shoulders over hips. Switch out your legs. Told you we wouldn't be here very long. Just kind of quickly wake up those hips. I'm going to bend the right knee now. Bring the left one on top of the right. Don't forget, use your blocks. However works for you. Hands on your knees. Lengthen up. Exhale, sigh it out. Let it go. Any stress, any tension in that hip? Oh my gosh, we hold tension in our hips. There's tension there. Think of sending the breath there. Re-engage your Ujjayi pranayama breath if you like, and do your happy neck circles. This way, that way, whatever feels good. Maybe you like to tuck your chin to your chest and then send the chin up to the sky. Get movement going in your neck. If you're doing your practice in the morning, just wake up your neck so you can have a better day. If you're doing the practice in the evening, loosen up your body so there's no tension when you go to sleep at night. All right, head's been moving around quite a bit, maybe, or maybe you're lengthening up through the crown of your head. You do what's right for you. Eyes open or closed. Turn your head right to left, left to right. Look over your shoulder as best you can. Perhaps with the eyes closed, imagining looking, or the eyes are open and you're really looking back there. Trying to look at that zipper on your back, right? Breathe. Soften in your jaws too. Don't clench your teeth. Your body wants to move. Listen to it. Head from left to right. Good job. Lengthen up through both arms. Stretch it out. Reach it up. Let's do that neck, ear to shoulder again. Pose again. Hand on top of the opposite ear. The ear, perhaps the left ear to the left shoulder. Stretch. Breathe. You're not even thinking about your hips, but they're getting some good isometric stretching going on here. Lift your arms back up to the sky. Head back to the midline. Take the opposite arm, the right arm, bring it on top of the left ear. Work the right ear to the right shoulder. Breathe. Shoulder away, opposite shoulder away from the ear. Hand really helps here, doesn't it? All right, let's finish up. Bring your hands back up to the sky. Lengthen up. Exhale, hinge forward. Walk your hands, slide them forward. Look back to your ankles, to your belly button. Oh, that feels great. Breathe. And then come on back up, shoulders over your hips. Let's come out of this pose. Let's go into a toes pose. Tuck your toes towards your shins. Maybe grab your block and place it behind your heels. Have a seat on the block for your toes pose today. Toes pose today, we're going to work in the forearms as well. We're going to do a forearm stretch. Sometimes we do it from a tabletop position. That feels really good, pressing into the ground. Today, we're just going to use our bodies. All right, arms come out in front of you, parallel to each other, palms face up. That brings your forearms face up. Take one hand, capture the four fingers of the other hand, and stretch those fingers back towards your elbow, feeling a good stretch in your forearm. Breathe. Soften in your hips. Allow your bottom to really rest on that block to stretch out your toes while you're stretching out your hands. And if it hurts in the toes, hinge forward, come out of it a little bit. But strengthening your feet and your foundation is just critical. It really is. It's just critical. Stretch your thumb back. You got to have mobility in your feet and your ankles. You've got to be able to have a strong foundation so you can balance. And the older we get, the harder it is to balance. Last week, let's switch hands. Let's switch hands. Bring the four fingers of the other hand back. Last week, we did a little balancing test to see how long you can balance on one foot. And the older you get, the harder it gets to be, unless you practice. So defy your age. Practice your balancing. Do your yoga. You'll be much better off for it. All right, bend the thumb back too. Ooh, how does that feel in the forearms? There's your nice tennis stretch. Take your hands, interlace your fingers, create an infinity sign, a sideways number 8. Squeeze your fingers together, good and tight. Sideways number 8. Keep it moving. All right, nice job. Let's give ourselves a big hug. Tee out your arms. Give yourself a big hug, one arm on top of the other. Work your fingers toward your spine. Soften in the shoulders and expand your shoulders to the side of the room. Remember which arm's on top. Check it out. I've got my right one. Tee out your arms again and give yourself a big hug with the left arm on top. Work your fingers towards your spine. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. Expand your shoulders to the side of the room. Breathe in, breathe out. Your mind has been off your toes. You've had a good long toe stretch. Good on you. Let's come out of it. All right, remove the block. Come on down to a neutral tabletop. Lift your feet up. Squeeze and scrunch your toes. Circle the ankles in one direction, then the other. Tap the tops of your feet out on your mat. Place the tops of your feet solidly on your mat. Have a seat back onto your heels here with the ankles stretched in the opposite direction. You can use your 2 blocks to bring the ground up to you and press into those blocks and roll up onto the top of your feet. Now, you know if this is good for you or not. I mean, I don't know if you had a broken ankle and maybe this doesn't feel so good. I've had a broken ankle, but now this feels great. And you know, you just got to get back into it. Don't baby your injuries. Get back and move. Whatever your doctor says, follow your doctor's instructions. But movement is so important. Maybe no blocks at all, maybe hands to prayer center, and you find a little bit of balance here. Focus forward. It's important to find something that's not moving. Hopefully there's nothing moving on your wall. You find something that's not moving, and you focus on it. Breathe. Stretch out your ankles. This is great for your feet. You are rocking your practice. Keep with it. All right, let's finish. Come out of the pose, come back to a neutral tabletop. Wiggle your ankles, your feet, however you like. You know best. Tap the tops of your feet out on your mat. Let's do cat-cow. Press into your hands. Shoulders are over your wrists. Knees underneath your hips. Think of your spine as long and straight from your tailbone to the crown of your head. Push the earth away, not only with your hands, but with the tops of your feet as well. Exhale, cow pose. Tuck your chin to your chest. Tuck your tailbone under. Arch your back up good and high to the sky. Inhale, cow pose. Send the crown of your head and your tailbone up to the sky. Feel the sensation in your tailbone like you did when we did our puppy pose. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Let it feel great. Tuck it under and then expand. Breathe. Maybe sigh it out a few times. Then maybe go back to your Ujjayi pranayama breath, but just be aware of your breathing and be thankful for your breathing. All right, finish up into a neutral tabletop as you come out of your cat-cow pose. Extend your right leg long, ball of the foot on your mat. Press hard into the mat with that extended right leg. Lift your right leg up, cross it over the midline of your body, squeeze in the upper inner thighs, place the right foot down on the left side of your body and look over your left shoulder. A big lateral flexion in the whole right side of your body. You just feel those muscles in between your ribs. You don't think about those very often. Feel them stretch, feel them strengthen. You got it. Sweep the right leg around to about hip height. Plant the foot, lift the arm up to the sky and breathe. Your neck, come back to it. Look up to your hands. Expand your fingers. Breathe. Push the earth away and finish on this side. Hand comes down. Knee comes down. Left leg's turn. Push the ball of the left foot into your mat. Stretch. Push. Don't forget the right foot too. Push that foot into the mat. You are strong here. You feel like a runner on the starting line of a race, right? Breathe. Cross the left leg over the midline of the body. Plant the ball of the foot down. Look over to the right side of your mat. Look back to your right foot, up to your knee. Feel the good stretch in the left side. Breathe. Sweep the left leg around to whatever feels good for you. Your hip has a lot of mobility in it. Use it. Plant the left foot. Lift the left arm up. Reach, stretch, push the earth away with whatever is in contact with the earth. Look up. Finish. Left hand comes down, right leg comes back, and the knees meet each other. All right, let's do plank. Now we do this every day, pretty much every day, except on our restorative days. We do a 1-minute plank. We set a timer just for you to measure your progress in your plank. You don't have to pay attention to the timer, and you can do plank any way you like. Think of all the options we've done in the past. You could lie on your back with your blocks and push the blocks up toward the sky and just think plank. That's where it all begins, a think plank. Here's another alternative. I'm going to do a plank mountain climber. I know you're going to join me, Liz. I'm going to do a mountain climber plank, but here's an option if you kind of sort of want to do it. From this neutral tabletop, push into the earth. Bring your right knee towards your right elbow. Bring your left knee towards your left elbow or toward the wrist, whatever, just get those hips moving. I'm going to come into a downward facing dog. To do that, hands are spread wide, toes tuck towards your shins. Press your hips high to the sky. You're on the balls of your feet. Pedal out your heels a little bit. Feet are hip width distance apart. Hands are shoulder width distance apart. Tailbone goes high to the sky. I'm going to go from this down dog. I'm going to kick my right leg high. I'm going to bring my right knee to my right elbow and then send it back. Then I'm going to do the left side and send it back, coming into almost like a plank pose here in this mountain climber. Let's set a timer right now and let's go for 1 minute, whatever you want to do. All right, I'm going to kick my right leg high, elbow to knee a few times. I'm going to do it maybe 3 or 4 times. We're already 5 seconds in. You've got it. All right. Leg goes high, elbow or knee to elbow. All right, I think I've done it about 6 times there. I'm going to plant my right foot and I'm going to do the left side. All right, guess what? You're past 20 seconds in. You're rocking it. Breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Refreshing breath. You've got it. You're building strength in your entire body. Your core is engaged. Now I'm going to go to single legs for the last 20 seconds. Knee to elbow, knee to elbow, knee to elbow. Breathe. We got less than 10 seconds to go. I think you got it. I think you're mastering it. And we are done. I'm going to send my hips high in a down dog just for a moment to take a breath. I'm going to come down to my knees and grab a drink. How did you do? What did you do? Whatever you did is great because you're doing. Whew, aren't you awake? Feeling the blood flow. It's all good. I'm going to grab a drink. And now it's time to do our core poses. Come on down, as if we weren't doing core already, right? Okay, Supta Baddha Konasana sit-ups. Have your strap nearby for bicycle. All right, soles of the feet touch. Knees open wide, hands to prayer center. Lengthen up because you can. And slowly exhale. Oh, come on back. Come on back as if you were in a recliner. And come all the way down to your back. Maybe you stay right here. Hike your heels up towards your groin. Fingertips lightly to your temples. Elbows are open wide like your knees. When you're ready, exhale. Chin goes up to the sky. Inhale, you come on down. Little lifts, little lowers, maybe breathing in and out of your mouth. Let heat go. Breathe, sigh it out. You've got it. Your Supta Baddha Konasana sit-ups, little lifts, little lowers. And then let's finish. Come on down, all the way down. Let's do a bicycle pose. All right, so for your bicycle, you can keep the soles of your feet on your mat, knees up toward the sky. You can peel your shoulders up. You can have your fingers at your temples, bringing opposite elbow toward opposite knee. Little lifts there. Perhaps you bring your shoulders down and have your knees over your hips. Hands can be on your hips and you drive through your heels as you ride a recumbent bicycle. Your hips are loving you. So important. Perhaps lift your shoulders up, fingers lightly to your temples, elbows towards opposite knees. Hey, maybe you can do that pretty well now because your hips are all loose because of your mountain climbers. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And your Sukhasana. The more you move, the more you can move. Breathe. Let's finish up in that bicycle pose. Find your strap to do your boat pose, unless you don't want to use the strap and you're familiar with the pose. It's up to you. I'm just shaking it up to keep it fun. Hands are on the straps. Heels are weighted, elbows hugged in. Peel your shoulders up with control. Come on up to seated. When you're seated, bring your shoulders back, bring your elbows back, lean on back as if you were in a recliner. Hold it here, play with it here. Maybe a little bend in your knees, feels good. Elbows are hugged in, breathe. Balance. Chest is lifted, put a smile on your face because why not? Breathe. Sometimes where the body goes, the mind follows. So put a smile on the face. All right, when you're ready, let's bring the heels on down, weighted. Walk your hands down your strap. Take a brief forward, restorative forward fold. Gaze toward your knees. Finish up. Remove your strap. Come on back again to fully reclined. Once you're fully reclined, left heel is plugged into the mat, toes drawn toward the shin. Bend your right knee and hug the right knee in. Hug it in. Send the right leg long. Plant the heel. Left knee bends. Hug the left knee in. You could be using your tail here to hug your knees in if that feels more right. There's always a way to do. You just got to do and find your way. All right, hugging the single knees in. Maybe kick it up a notch. Keep the leg extended. Don't put it down on the ground and peel your shoulders up. Hug one knee in, then the other. Your hips are loving you. Breathe. Whichever variation you're doing, it's rocking your world. All right, both legs go long. Hug both knees in. Both legs long. Hug both knees in. Keep at it. You've got it. Hips, loving it. Breathe, breathe, breathe. All right, let's finish up. Rock on up to seated. Crisscross at the ankles. Hands come down. Let's come back to a down dog. All right, hands plant. Legs go high. Remember your feet, hip width distance, heels slightly lifted, and you're going to pedal them out. Say, take the dog for a walk. Press your hands into your mat. All right, what we did earlier in that mountain climber, we're going to do something similar here, just to prove to yourself you can do it. Still your feet, tailbone high to the sky. Hands are planted, weight equally distributed in the hands. Lift your right knee high. Exhale, bring your knee towards your nose. Send the leg up and plant it. Left leg lifts, send your knee toward your nose. Left leg lifts and plant it. Do a couple of these. Kick high, knee toward nose, kick high and plant. Other leg, kicks, nose, kicks. One more time. High, nose, high, plant. High kick, nose, high kick, plant. Plant your feet, pedal it out and walk the dog, wiggle your hips. Really take the motion up into your hips. Push into the earth, move your hips, and finish. Plant your feet, walk your feet to meet your hands, or your hands to meet your feet. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to your shins, straighten through your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms sweep up. You're back to your extended mountain. Breathe. Soften in your shoulders. Tree pose, Vrikasana, hands to prayer center. You can have a chair nearby. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Get into the hips with your tree pose. Root into your right leg. Lift your left leg up. Open it to the side of the room. Place the foot inside the calf or higher into the thigh, or use it as a little kickstand on the earth. No big deal. Nobody's watching you. You're at peace. All right, I'm going to bring the foot high up into the thigh. Now think about your hips. How are you going to do your hips? Make sure they're equidistant to the front of the room. The outside of the left knee, drive it more to the back of the room. Hold it here. Lengthen up. Find that focal point, perhaps where the ceiling and the wall meet. Grow your branches. Sway your branches. We're going to take this a little differently today. It's going to be hard. Oh, but you can do it because you're harder. All right. Lift your arms on up. Remember palm tree? Interlace your fingers. Send your palms up to the sky. Try to gently sway here. Oh, it's a gentle sway, all right. It's not very deep, but breathe. Push the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot. Sway your arms a little bit from side to side. And when you're ready, let's finish. Hands back to prayer center. Guide the knee to the front of the room. Plant the foot next to the other foot on the ground. Root into your left leg. Weight out of the right. Open up the knee to the side of the room. Take the variation that you like. Maybe you totally kickstand it. It's totally great. Arms lift up. Interlaced fingers. Palm tree. Gentle sway from side to side. They're both really beneficial. Any way you take this pose, it's going to benefit your body. Just take it. The only thing you don't want to do is have that foot on your knee. Focus up. Sway a little bit or a lot. Or not at all. Maybe you're holding onto your counter. It's all good. Finish up. Hands back to prayer center. Do you have a mantra today? Or are you repeating something positive to yourself? Maybe I am kind to me. Maybe that's your mantra. Bring your right foot forward. Plant the right foot next to the left. Lengthen up. And soften up. You will look taller with this pose. Think of the first letter of each word. Big capital letter Y in your body. Big capital letter W in the arms. 2 L's, forward and backward. Oh, feel your chest lift. Tee out your arms and now pulse your hands back to the back of the room. Pulsing. You do that a lot in a bar practice. And on Fridays, we do what we call Yoga Plus, where we do bar, Pilates, yoga, and weights. Oh, it's all good. Let's do it again. Big capital letter Y. Push the backs of your hands to the back of the room. Big capital letter W. Oh, it feels so good in the upper back. 2 L's, forward and backward as the elbows hug in and forearms are parallel to the earth. Big capital letter T. Pulse it out. Life is good. It's a good day. Arms down by your sides. Close your eyes. Feel the strengthening, the lengthening in your spine, the good posture you have. Oh, how many people do you see where their heads, they walk with kind of that dowager's hump like this? You can change it. You can reverse it. Chin up, shoulders back, and down. Good posture, so important for the functioning of your organs, so important for proper alignment in your body. All right, hips, let's get back to them. You did a beautiful tree pose. You can have a chair nearby. Let's do a gate pose. Let's start by lifting one leg. I'm going to lift my left leg. Lift it up. Hold it up. Maybe circle the ankle here and there. I'm going to interlace my fingers again and hug the knee in. Hug it in and hold it here. Lengthen up and find your drishti. Focus forward. Now I'm just going to have my left hand on my left knee. I'm going to open up the knee to the side of the room. I'm going to place my other hand on my hip. I'm going to tee out my right arm, and maybe I'm going to take my gaze slowly to that extended arm side. Good balancing. Slowly bring everything back to the midline of your body. Release your knee on down. Lift the other leg up. Root into the opposite leg. When you're ready, maybe interlaced fingers. Or maybe you're using your towel, you hug it in, circle your ankle a little bit. Maybe you keep it right here, hold it here. Keep your shoulders over your hips. I'm gonna open up this right knee to the side of the room. Hips are equidistant. I'm gonna tee out my opposite arm. You really gotta focus here. Don't look at me, I'll talk you through it. Look up toward where the ceiling and the wall meet. Maybe take your gaze over your extended left arm, holding the knee up and out and open. Slowly bring the gaze back to the midline. Bring the knee back too. Hug it in and plant it. There you go. Nice work in the hips. Take a big breath in. And a big sighing breath out. Let's do a lunge. All right, step forward with your big right foot. Step forward with your right leg. A nice big forward step. Bend your knees and slowly come on down. Slowly come on down. Shoulders over your hips. Slowly come on down all the way down, but take it nice and slow. All the way down to that back left knee. Find your 2 blocks. Let's go surfing. Sounds like fun. Plant your blocks. If you don't have blocks, plant your hands outside your right front foot. Send your left leg long. Maybe bring a towel under your left knee. Top of the left foot is on your mat. Come on back up, shoulders over your hips. The blocks really make it nice. Lengthen up here. Knee over ankle. Breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Nice stretch in your hip flexors. Arms perhaps lift and you maybe take a baby back bend. How does that feel? Breathe here for a moment. Stay here. Hands come back through prayer center. Maybe you've got your little mantra going on. I'm kind to me. Maybe plant your hands, start to surf. Right leg straightens and then rebends. Nice and long, nice deep bend here. You can bring the knee forward of the ankle if that feels good. Straighten the right leg, bringing your hips back. You can take it any way you like. Maybe you'd like to keep the blocks planted. Maybe bring your hips back even farther towards your heel. Right toes are up. And then you hinge it forward and stretch it out. So you're surfing. Yahoo! All right, maybe you want to walk the blocks back with you. Come back toward your heel. Walk the blocks forward. Any way you do it is great. Maybe hands come to prayer center. Just play with it. Don't get stuck in a rut of doing it one way all the time. All right, knees together. Left foot forward. Knee over ankle. Right leg, send it long and strong. Breathe. Maybe shoulders come up, more over the hips. Maybe take that little back bend. Arms raise up. You look up. Nice big stretch here. Push the top of that right foot into the mat. Push your whole left foot into the mat. And finish. Prayer center hands. Maybe that's where you stay. Maybe it's time to surf. Gently. Hips just back and forth a little bit. Maybe it's time to send the hips really far back, keeping the blocks right where they are, taking the depth of the stretch here. Toes up. And surf. Knee can come forward to the ankle here. It's all good. Surf it out. Remember, you got the option. Your choice. Maybe you walk the blocks back and forth. Maybe you say no blocks at all. Back to that prayer center hands. And I'm just having a good time in my surfing. All right. Let's finish up. Come on to both knees together. Walk your hands forward. Hinge forward like a little baby plank on your knees. Hold it here, shoulders over your wrists. Feel the strength in your arms. You are strong. Keep it here, and then slowly bend your elbows. I mean, really slowly. We're going to lower down to our belly. Keep your elbows hugged in. Slowly. Maybe pause where you think it's hard. Breathe. Lower down a little bit more. Maybe hover a little bit. And then come all the way down. All the way down. Hands are underneath your shoulders. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Zip up your legs. Press the tops of your feet into your mat. Cobra pose, Bhujangasana. As you're ready to take an inhale, gaze down your nose. Feel compression in your low back. Little weight in your hands. Maybe no weight in your hands. If you've got no weight in your hands, squeeze your elbows toward your spine at the middle of your back. Then squeeze your elbows down toward your heels. Lift a little lower in the nose. Breathe. And then finish. Come on down. Arms come down by your sides. Turn your head so your left ear is on your mat. Shoulders away from the ears. Breathe in, breathe out. Head back to the midline. Send your arms long to the top of your mat, like an extended child's pose arms. Superman pose. Lift your legs up. Maybe one leg or the other or both. Again, feel that compression in your low back. Arms are reaching long to the top of your mat. Legs are lifted. Add in the arms. Lift them up too. Gaze down your nose as your head lifts a little bit off your mat. Maybe you're balancing on your pelvis. Lift your thighs a little bit more. Reach. Fly like Superman. Breathe in, breathe out, hold it. You've got it, you're strong. Come on, don't quit, don't give up. Superman doesn't give up, you got it. Arms come down by your sides. Turn your head so your right cheek, right ear is on the mat. Breathe in, breathe out. Head back to the midline. Hands, elbows bend, hands come under your collarbones again. Remember we came down slowly. Come up slowly. Straighten the arms. Come up nice and slowly. Strength in those triceps. Strength in those arms. You have it. Don't think I'm getting older, I'm losing it. No, it means you're gotta just work harder. Keep it, keep at it. Breathe. Soften in your glutes. Seal pose. When you're ready, let's come on up to standing on your knees. A little gentle baby camel. Hands to your low backs. Hands to your low backs. Send your belly forward. Elbows squeeze toward your spine. Remember doing that? Squeeze your elbows towards your spine. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Maybe look a little bit higher, maybe to overhead. Breathe in, breathe out. All right, let's do just the opposite for our low back. Come to seated. Remember you felt the compression in your low back? Now you're gonna feel expansion. Send your legs long, toes high to the sky. Arms lift, maybe use a towel. Improvise. Make it work for you. Maybe use a towel under your feet. Maybe use your strap. Lengthen up, hold here, pull with your towel, or you hold onto your feet or your calves and you pull. Pull your chest forward. Bend in the knees if that feels good. Elbows toward your knees. Fold forward in a restorative forward fold. Feel the decompression of your low back. Move your body in all different ways, right? That's what our yoga is. Bring your shoulders on up over your hips. You just feel way better. All right, let's do this. Feet on your mat, knees bent. Eye shade or towel up near your shoulders so we can do our final Shavasana, and a strap nearby too. Soles of your feet are on your mat. Slowly come back to recline. Come to where you kind of just really feel the tension in your core. Hold it here. Come on back up, shoulders over your hips. All right, you know what that feels like. Let's do it again. Come on back. Come on back. Your core is strong. Don't give up. Your core is strong. Only way to make it stronger is to keep doing it and keep coming back. Keep coming back to do your yoga. All right, let's come all the way down. All the way down. Brief reclined half pigeon after bridge. Bring the soles of your feet up towards your bottom. Arms down by your sides. Send your hips high up to the sky. They feel good here. Wiggle your shoulders closer to your spine. Arms down by your sides, or interlace your fingers. Send your pinkies to the mat. Breathe. Hips are high and lifted. Push harder into your feet. All right, release your hands. Roll your spine down one vertebra at a time. Lift your right leg up. Create a figure four in this reclined pigeon pose. Figure four in the legs. Push your inner right thigh open. Breathe. If you like, lift your left knee up towards your chest. Push the inner right thigh away even more. Breathe. Plant the left foot, plant the right foot. Knees are bent, lift the left knee outside of the left knee onto the right thigh. Push the inner left thigh open. If you want, lift the right knee up. Keep the outer left thigh pushed toward the bottom of your mat. Hug your knee in closer towards your chest. Breathe, just let it come in and do its own thing. Breathe. Plant your right leg, plant your left leg. Nice job. Remember bridge pose? Let's do it again. Send both hips high up to the sky, arms down by your sides. Think of your fingers reaching to the bottom of your mat. Lift your hips even higher. Push. Think of making your mat longer by trying to slide your toes down toward the bottom of the mat. Hold your bridge high here. Feel it even in your quadriceps. And then slowly lower your spine down one vertebra at a time. Keep your belly button tucked until the very end, and then let your hips come down. Find your strap. Find your strap. Place the center of the strap at the center of your feet. I was doing this in the little spinny clock countdown too, so you know what's coming. All right, elbows hugged in. Draw your toes up toward the sky. This is a great stretch. Enjoy it. Maybe a little bend in your knees feels better. I'm going to release my right leg down to the mat so my legs look like the shape of the letter L. I'm going to let my left leg open up toward the pinky edge side of my foot. Pinky edge side of the foot opens up toward the earth. Then I'm going to bring the leg back up. I'm going to roll onto the right hip, allowing the big toe side to come down toward the earth. It doesn't have to touch the earth. Just think of creating like a rainbow arc over your body with the strap. Hips are loving it, and you don't have to go far. You really don't. Just do what feels good here. Maybe close your eyes and feel what feels awesomely wonderful in your body today. Breathe through it. All right, you got the little rainbow arc thing going on. Feels really good. Maybe during commercial breaks when you watch television at night, and there's plenty of commercial breaks. Maybe you lie down on the ground and do this pose. As your leg comes down to one side or the other, try to look in the opposite direction. Maybe tee out that arm as well. And look in the opposite direction of which your leg is going. Let's finish. Bring your right leg up to meet the left. Give them both a nice little tug here as they even out, kind of having your soles of your feet on the ceiling. Now I'm going to lower my left leg, come back to that L shape, and start to lower the leg to each side, however you like. Up and down. Keep the extended leg, in my case it's the left leg, keep that calf plugged into the mat, and it helps to keep the toes drawn up toward the shin. So keep that calf down. Those little refinements really are enhancing. All right, remember to tee out one arm and gaze over that extended arm when the leg goes to the side. I bet when you go for your walk today, out in nature and appreciating the green earth, when you go out on your walk today, your hips are going to feel really good. And as you're ready, let's finish up here. Left leg goes back up to meet the right. Give them a nice tug of this rope. And then release your feet down to your mat. Release your strap. Left hand hugs your left knee in towards your left armpit. Right hand hugs your right knee in towards your right armpit. We're going to go into Happy Baby, Ananda Balasana. Lots of ways to take it. Maybe you're holding your knees here. Think of your belly in between your thighs and rock a little bit from side to side. Nice low back massage. Elbows are tucked in as your knees are being hugged in to your armpits. Now you can work your hands down to the inner calves. Keep rocking. Maybe reach your hands down and capture your heels. Draw your toes towards your shins. It helps you keep a tight grip on your heels. And then send one leg up to the sky and then the other leg up to the sky when you bend the opposite knee. So one leg's extended, one knee's really bent. Oh, breathe here. Hip mobility, so important. Work toward this. Maybe today you're not grabbing the heels. Maybe today you're just working the heels up toward the sky, bending one, then the other. It's all good. Now let's finish. Release your heels. Bring your knees back to the midline of your body. Plant your feet. Send your legs long. Final Shavasana. All right, eye shade or towel covers the eyes. It's really, really nice. I don't do it because it'll interfere with the mic. But using the towel is nice, but the eye shade is even better. It's a little bit weighted, and it just feels so wonderful in the eye socket. Seems like a kind of a know-nothing thing, but it's a big thing. And isn't that true? So many times, the know-nothing things are the big things. The things you take for granted really matter if you don't have them. All right, pinky toes fall toward the edges of your mat. Hips are externally rotated because they feel good. Arms down by your sides, palms face up. Wiggle your shoulders a little closer to your spine. Tuck your chin slightly so you feel like your head is nice and straight on your shoulders. Unclench your jaws if your teeth are touching. Remove the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Let your cheeks be soft. And soften the area between your eyebrows. Deepen your breaths and find your internal peace as you are kind to you. Take a deep breath in, really deep. Embrace the pause before you take a big, full, slow exhale. Stay here longer if you like. Maybe over time you realize, oh, I'll bring my remote control to shoulder height and I'll hit the pause button so I can stay in my final Shavasana longer. If it's time for you to conclude your hour, let's begin by bringing motion into the fingers and the toes. Think back to toes pose. Think back to that tennis stretch. Oh, yeah. Work the motion up into your ankles. Think about walking the dog in your downward facing dog. Wiggle your your wrists. Think of that figure 8 that we did with the interlaced fingers. Move your wrists. On an inhale, high overhead, take a big good morning stretch. Think of how you stretched in your pentacle pose, in your downward facing dog, in your extended mountain poses. Exhale, bend your knees and your hips are feeling good. Bend your elbows, roll into a fetal position onto one side or the other. Let your head rest on your low arms bicep. Top shoulder is relaxed. Eyes are closed as you savor this moment, this breath. Big breath in and big breath out. After all the core stuff we did today, maybe you can keep your eyes closed because your proprioception is good. You know where your body is, and your core is good and strong. Maybe you can press up without using your hands, and be kind to yourself if you do use your hands. It's no big deal. Crisscross your ankles and sit comfortably. Hands to prayer center in gratitude because you did it and you are kind to you. Press your thumbs slightly into your chest. Lengthen up through your spine. Take a deep breath in and a deep sighing breath out. Let it go. Blink your eyes open. You did it. Did you hear her sneeze? That's okay. All right, you did it. We're real. Like I said, we're real. We practice every single day. I look forward to seeing you, and I really am glad that you're doing your yoga. It's so important. All right, so how do you feel? Shoulders, your hips. Count your blessings. Appreciate the little things, because the little things aren't so little. The little things are the big things. Okay, so you took a stress number when you started. What is your stress number now? I guarantee it's a whole lot lower. Go for your walk. Feel the mobility in your hips. Be thankful for what you have. And we'll see you on your mats tomorrow. Commit. Do it. All right, think of the fruit of the Spirit. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, which we're going to talk about all month, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. See you here tomorrow. Love you guys. Goodbye. Hi, Bonnie. Good girl. There you go. Puppy pose. Good girl.